Taking responsibility is one of the most fundamental principles of an attractive and competent individual. It is the ability to recognize that your life is in large part a reflection of your actions, your choices, and your mindset. It is the antidote to blame, victimhood, and passive existence. People who take responsibility command respect. They are trusted, admired, and naturally draw others toward them because they embody stability and strength in a world that is too often chaotic and uncertain. The first step in taking responsibility is acknowledging that you are not a passive observer in your own life. You are not merely a product of your circumstances, your past, or the unfairness of the world. While it is true that life is difficult and often unjust, it is equally true that what you do in response to those difficulties determines the trajectory of your life. No one who is truly attractive, whether socially, professionally, or romantically, sees themselves as a helpless victim. Instead, they recognize that no matter what happens, they still have agency. They can still act. They can still improve. They can still fight back against chaos. People who refuse to take responsibility tend to develop a mindset that externalizes blame. They believe that their failures are due to the government, their upbringing, their boss, their genetics, or sheer bad luck. While these factors may play a role, dwelling on them solves nothing. Blame is seductive because it absolves people of the burden of change. If everything is someone else's fault, then nothing needs to be done. The problem with this mindset is that it leads to stagnation, resentment, and ultimately a loss of self-respect. And without self-respect, no one else will respect you either. Contrast this with a person who takes full responsibility. When they encounter failure, they don't waste time making excuses. Instead, they ask, what could I have done differently? What will I do better next time? This isn't self-blame, it's self-mastery. It is the recognition that even in situations where you are not at fault, you still have the power to choose your response. And your response is everything. Life will throw challenges at you, betrayal, loss, rejection. But what makes a person strong and therefore attractive is their ability to face these hardships without falling into bitterness. Another crucial aspect of taking responsibility is discipline. Attractive people do not allow their emotions to dictate their actions. They don't wait until they feel like it to work hard, exercise, or improve themselves. They do what needs to be done, regardless of their mood. This is what separates those who are respected from those who are ignored. If you look at the people you admire most, you'll notice that they are individuals who impose order on their lives. They get up early. They work relentlessly toward their goals. They don't indulge in self-pity. They do what they say they will do. This kind of self-discipline is rare, and because it is rare, it is attractive. When you take responsibility for your actions and your habits, you become reliable. People begin to trust you. They see that when you make a promise, you keep it. They know that when you take on a task, it will be completed. This kind of reliability is not just useful, it is magnetic. Whether in friendships, business, or romantic relationships, people are drawn to those who are stable, consistent, and strong. Taking responsibility also means being honest with yourself. It means recognizing your own flaws, not as something to be ashamed of, but as something to confront and improve. Too many people deceive themselves about their shortcomings because acknowledging them is painful. But avoiding that pain does not make the flaws disappear. In fact, it allows them to grow unchecked and unnoticed until they inevitably cause destruction. The person who is truly attractive is the one who says, here are my weaknesses, here are my failings. Now, what am I going to do about them? They face the truth head on. They do not flinch. Taking responsibility is also the foundation of confidence. People often mistake confidence for arrogance or bravado, but real confidence comes from competence. It comes from knowing that you have built yourself into someone who can handle whatever life throws at you. When you take responsibility for your actions, your body, your habits, and your choices, you become someone who is in control. And control breeds confidence. Ultimately, the world is unpredictable, and suffering is inevitable, but your ability to respond to suffering is within your control. That is why people who take responsibility are so attractive. They are beacons of stability in a world that is often unstable. They are the ones people turn to in times of crisis. They do not crumble under pressure. They do not waste time complaining. They adapt, they improve, and they move forward. So if you want to become someone who commands respect, who is admired, who is genuinely attractive, start by taking responsibility. Stop waiting for external circumstances to change. Stop blaming the world for your problems. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do today to be better? How can I take action right now? The answer to those questions will shape your future, your character, and ultimately your ability to draw others toward you. Mastering communication is one of the most powerful skills a person can develop. It shapes the way others perceive you, determines the quality of your relationships, and plays a crucial role in your success. People who can express themselves clearly and compellingly command attention. They are persuasive, respected, and often find themselves in positions of influence. More importantly, great communicators make people feel heard, understood, and valued. This is why communication is not just a tool for conveying information, it is a tool for connection, leadership, and attraction. One of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to communication is assuming that speaking a lot means communicating effectively. It doesn't. In fact, the most effective communicators often say less, but what they do say carries weight. They choose their words carefully. They are precise, direct, and impactful. They do not ramble. They do not overcomplicate. And they do not speak just to fill the silence. Every word serves a purpose. When they speak, people listen. Another crucial element of strong communication is the ability to listen. Most people do not listen to understand, they listen to respond. They are already formulating their reply while the other person is still talking. This is a mistake. True communication requires full presence. It means actually hearing what the other person is saying, not just their words, but their tone, their emotions, and what they might not be saying explicitly. It means resisting the urge to interrupt and instead focusing entirely on understanding. When people feel heard, they feel valued, and that creates a powerful connection. Being articulate is another key component. Many people struggle to express themselves because their thoughts are jumbled. They speak in vague terms, use filler words, or stumble through their sentences. This weakens their message and diminishes their presence. Great communicators, on the other hand, think before they speak. They structure their thoughts clearly. They use simple, direct language that leaves no room for confusion. They do not hide behind jargon or unnecessary complexity. They speak in a way that is accessible, yet authoritative. Confidence also plays a major role in communication. People instinctively respond to certainty. If you speak hesitantly with a weak voice or constantly second-guess yourself, others will subconsciously doubt what you are saying. But if you speak with conviction, if your voice is steady, if your tone is deliberate, people will believe in your words. Even if they disagree, they will respect your presence. This is why great communicators work on their delivery as much as their message. They control their voice, their pace, and their body language to reinforce their words. Nonverbal communication is just as important as verbal communication. The way you carry yourself, your posture, your facial expressions, your eye contact, all contribute to how your message is received. Someone who slouches, avoids eye contact, or fidgets excessively appears uncertain and unconvincing. On the other hand, someone who stands tall, maintains steady eye contact, and gestures with intention exudes confidence. This kind of presence makes people pay attention. It makes your words carry more weight. Another powerful habit of master communicators is their ability to adapt to their audience. They do not speak the same way to everyone. They adjust their tone, language, and approach based on who they are speaking to. They understand that what works in a formal setting might not work in a casual conversation. They are observant, reading social cues and adjusting accordingly. This flexibility allows them to connect with a wide range of people, making them more persuasive and influential. A key part of effective communication is also knowing when to be silent. Many people fear silence in conversation, rushing to fill every gap. But silence can be powerful. A well-placed pause adds emphasis to your words. It gives the listener time to absorb what you have said. It also creates a sense of anticipation, making people more engaged. Silence can also be used strategically in negotiations or debates, forcing the other person to fill the gap and often revealing more than they intended. The ability to tell a story is another hallmark of great communicators. Facts and data can be useful, but stories are what truly captivate people. A well-told story makes a message memorable. It engages the emotions, making it more persuasive. This is why the most influential leaders, speakers, and thinkers throughout history have been storytellers. They do not just present information, they frame it in a way that resonates with people on a deeper level. In a world that constantly pushes instant gratification, the pursuit of meaning over cheap pleasure is one of the most defining traits of a strong and attractive person. It is easy to chase pleasure, to give in to distractions, to indulge in the short-term comforts that require little effort. But this kind of living leads nowhere. It breeds emptiness, dependence, and ultimately regret. True fulfillment, true attraction comes from seeking something deeper, something lasting, something meaningful. Pleasure is deceptive. It feels good in the moment, but it rarely brings long-term satisfaction. Scrolling endlessly through social media, eating junk food, binge-watching shows, seeking validation through shallow relationships. These things provide temporary relief, but they do not build anything of real value. They do not challenge you. They do not push you to grow. Instead, they keep you weak, distracted, and dependent on external sources of happiness. The problem with pleasure-driven living is that it creates a cycle. The more you indulge, the more you crave, and the harder it becomes to break free. What once gave you a thrill eventually loses its effect, forcing you to seek even more of it just to feel the same level of satisfaction. It is a trap, and many people never escape it. Contrast this with meaning. Meaning requires effort. It demands sacrifice, discipline, and patience. But in return, it offers something far greater than fleeting pleasure. It offers a sense of purpose. People who pursue meaning are willing to delay gratification because they understand that true fulfillment comes from working towards something valuable. They are willing to endure hardship, discomfort, and struggle because they know that on the other side of that struggle is something worthwhile. Whether it is building a career, creating strong relationships, mastering a skill, or contributing to something greater than themselves, they choose depth over distraction. And that choice is what sets them apart. There is nothing inherently wrong with pleasure. It is a natural part of life, and in moderation it can be enjoyed. But when pleasure becomes the goal rather than the byproduct of a meaningful existence, it leads to stagnation. Look at the people who are admired, respected, and sought after. They are not those who waste their time chasing easy pleasures. They are the ones who dedicate themselves to something significant. They are the ones who have the discipline to say no to distractions and yes to personal growth. This discipline is rare, and because it is rare, it is deeply attractive. Seeking meaning also creates resilience. Life is difficult. Pain, failure, and setbacks are inevitable. People who live for pleasure crumble when faced with hardship. They do not have the mental strength to endure suffering because they have spent their lives avoiding it. But those who seek meaning are different. They understand that suffering is not something to run from, it is something to overcome. They take pain and transform it into wisdom. They use their struggles to build character. This ability to endure, to persist despite obstacles, is what makes them truly powerful. One of the strongest indicators of a meaningful life is responsibility. People who avoid responsibility in favor of pleasure end up aimless, lost, and dissatisfied. But those who embrace responsibility who take ownership of their actions, their relationships, and their goals develop a deep sense of fulfillment. Responsibility gives life structure. It provides a reason to get up in the morning, to push forward even when things are difficult. It is the foundation of confidence and self-respect. Another crucial aspect of seeking meaning is discipline. Discipline is what separates those who achieve great things from those who do not. It is the ability to resist temptation, to stay focused on long-term goals, and to put in the work even when motivation fades. Many people rely on motivation to get things done, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is constant. It is the ability to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. And people who possess this trait stand out. They become leaders, innovators, and high-value individuals. Choosing meaning over pleasure also impacts relationships. Shallow relationships based on convenience and temporary excitement do not last. They are fragile, built on weak foundations. But meaningful relationships, ones based on trust, shared values, and genuine connection, are strong. They require effort, patience, and honesty. They demand that both individuals bring something valuable to the table. People who prioritize meaning in their relationships do not settle for surface-level interactions. They seek depth, they invest in others, and because of this, they build bonds that are not only fulfilling, but also rare. Ultimately, the pursuit of meaning is what creates a life worth living. It is what turns an average person into someone extraordinary. It is what separates those who waste their potential from those who fully realize it. Choosing meaning over pleasure is not easy. It requires sacrifice. It demands that you push through discomfort, that you delay gratification, that you reject the easy path in favor of the worthwhile one. But in the end, it is the only pursuit that leads to true fulfillment. And those who embody this pursuit are the ones who inspire, lead, and attract others effortlessly. This strength is one of the most attractive and admirable traits a person can develop. It is not just about physical power, though that is certainly a part of it. Strength is a combination of mental resilience, emotional stability, and physical capability. A strong person is someone who can handle life's difficulties without crumbling, who can endure discomfort without complaint, and who can stand firm in their values despite external pressures. Strength is what allows a person to take responsibility, to lead, to protect, and to inspire confidence in others. Physical strength is often underestimated in modern society, where comfort and convenience dominate daily life. But the truth is, maintaining physical strength is not just about aesthetics, it is about survival, discipline, and self-respect. A strong body reflects a strong mind because building strength requires effort, consistency, and endurance. It requires a person to push past their limits, to show up even when they don't feel like it, and to engage in self-discipline rather than indulgence. Training the body through exercise, whether it be weightlifting, martial arts, or any physically demanding activity, is a direct way to develop not only physical resilience, but also mental toughness. More importantly, physical strength signals capability. People are naturally drawn to those who appear competent and able to handle challenges. A person who is physically strong gives off an unspoken message that they can take care of themselves and, if necessary, protect others. This is not about aggression, but about presence. Strength radiates confidence, and confidence is magnetic. When you take care of your body, you carry yourself differently. You walk with more authority, you stand taller, and you move with purpose. These small but powerful signals shape how others perceive you. However, strength is not just about what can be seen, it is about what can be endured. Life will test you. It will throw pain, failure, and suffering in your path, and the way you respond to these challenges determines your true level of strength. Many people crumble at the first sign of hardship. They fall into despair, self-pity, or blame. They let circumstances dictate their emotional state. A truly strong person, on the other hand, understands that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. They do not allow hardships to define them. Instead, they face adversity head-on, adapting and pushing forward, rather than breaking under pressure. Mental strength is built through hardship. It is built by doing difficult things, by voluntarily stepping into discomfort, by challenging oneself, by facing fears rather than avoiding them. Every time a person chooses to endure rather than escape, they become stronger. Every time they resist the urge to complain and instead look for solutions, they become more capable. The strongest people are not those who have never struggled, but those who have struggled and refused to be broken by it. They are the ones who take responsibility for their emotions, who do not let temporary pain dictate long-term decisions, and who keep moving forward no matter how difficult life becomes. Emotional strength is equally critical. It is the ability to regulate emotions rather than being controlled by them. Many people are ruled by their emotions. They react impulsively. They lash out when frustrated. They crumble under stress. But emotional strength means maintaining composure even in chaos. It means staying calm when others panic, thinking logically when emotions are running high, and not allowing fear or anger to dictate behavior. People who possess emotional strength are reliable. They do not make decisions out of desperation or insecurity. Instead, they think clearly, act deliberately, and remain stable under pressure. This makes them natural leaders, people that others turn to in times of crisis. Strength inside and out is rare because it is difficult to develop. It requires sacrifice. It demands discipline. It means choosing discomfort over ease, responsibility over excuses, and long-term growth over short-term pleasure. But it is precisely because it is difficult that it is so valuable. The world is filled with people who take the easy path, who avoid hardship, who seek comfort above all else. Those who choose to be strong, physically, mentally, and emotionally, stand out. They command respect. They inspire confidence. They attract others who value resilience and determination. A strong person does not seek pity. They do not demand that others make life easier for them. Instead, they focus on making themselves better so that they can handle life's difficulties with dignity and power. They know that no one is coming to save them, and they take that realization as motivation to become the kind of person who can handle anything. Ultimately, strength is about choice. Every day presents an opportunity to grow stronger or to remain weak. It is a decision between discipline and indulgence, between action and passivity, between resilience and surrender. Those who choose strength, who commit to becoming unshakable, who push themselves beyond what is comfortable, who develop both their physical and mental fortitude, become the kind of people who are respected, admired, and deeply attractive. Because in a world that constantly seeks ease, true strength is a rare and powerful force. Telling the truth is one of the most fundamental yet difficult principles a person can live by. It requires courage, integrity, and a deep commitment to reality. The truth is not always easy to face, and it is certainly not always easy to speak, but the alternative, deception, avoidance, and dishonesty, leads to weakness, confusion, and self-betrayal. Truth is the foundation of strength, and those who embrace it set themselves apart from the masses who prefer comfort over clarity. Lies, even small ones, create instability. The moment a person begins to distort reality, whether to avoid consequences, spare someone's feelings, or make themselves appear better, they step onto dangerous ground. A single lie often leads to another. The mind must then work harder to keep track of the deception, and before long, the liar is trapped in a web of their own making. Their relationships suffer because trust erodes. Their confidence weakens because deep down they know they are not standing on solid ground. Their life becomes fragmented, built on falsehoods that cannot hold under pressure. In contrast, truth brings clarity. A person who speaks the truth, even when it is difficult, does not have to remember what they said last time. They do not have to maintain a false image or manipulate others to protect their deception. They stand firmly in reality, which allows them to move through life with certainty. They know where they stand, and others know where they stand. This consistency builds trust. People are naturally drawn to those who are honest because honesty provides stability in a world full of confusion and uncertainty. But telling the truth is not just about speaking honestly to others, it is also about being honest with yourself. Many people avoid facing reality because it is uncomfortable. They ignore their weaknesses, deny their flaws, and justify their bad habits. They create excuses for why they are not where they want to be in life. But this self-deception only prolongs suffering. A person who refuses to acknowledge the truth about themselves cannot grow. They remain stuck in the same patterns, repeating the same mistakes, because they refuse to see the real problem. Facing the truth about oneself is painful, but it is also liberating. It allows a person to take control of their life. If you admit that you are undisciplined, you can begin to build discipline. If you admit that you are in an unhealthy relationship, you can start making changes. If you acknowledge that you have been avoiding responsibility, you can correct your course. The truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is always the starting point for real transformation. Telling the truth also strengthens relationships. Lies destroy trust, and without trust, no meaningful relationship can exist. Many people lie in relationships out of fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of hurting someone's feelings. But dishonesty always causes more harm in the long run. It creates distance and suspicion. The person being lied to may not always know the details, but they can sense that something is off. A relationship built on truth, even when the truth is hard to hear, is far stronger than one built on falsehoods. Truth-telling does not mean being cruel. Some people mistake bluntness for honesty, using the truth as a weapon rather than a tool for growth. True honesty is rooted in integrity, not in tearing others down. It is possible to tell the truth with kindness, to be direct without being harsh. A strong person knows how to speak the truth in a way that is constructive rather than destructive. Living truthfully also means aligning your actions with your words. Many people claim to have certain values but fail to live by them. They preach discipline but indulge in laziness. They talk about integrity but compromise when it is convenient. This kind of dishonesty between what a person says and what they actually do creates internal conflict. It weakens their self-respect and causes others to doubt their character. The strongest individuals live in alignment with their principles. They do what they say they will do. Their words and actions are consistent, and that consistency builds credibility. Telling the truth also means standing up for what is right, even when it is unpopular. Many people remain silent or go along with the crowd because they fear rejection or criticism. They suppress their beliefs to fit in. But a person who values truth above comfort does not back down when it matters. They speak up against dishonesty even if it costs them something. They refuse to conform when conformity means betraying their value. This kind of integrity is rare, and because it is rare, it is powerful. The truth is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It creates clarity, builds trust, strengthens character, and leads to real growth. A person who commits to the truth, both in their words and in their actions, becomes unshakable. They stand on a solid foundation while others crumble under the weight of their own deceptions. In a world full of illusions and half-truths, the truth teller is a force to be reckoned with. Walking with purpose is more than just a physical act. It is a reflection of how you approach life. Every movement, every step, and every decision carries an unspoken message about who you are and what you stand for. A person who walks with purpose is someone who moves with direction, intention, and confidence. They are not aimless wanderers drifting from one distraction to another. Instead, they are focused, driven, and aware of where they are going, both physically and metaphorically. Purpose is magnetic. When you see someone moving with clear direction, standing tall, and exuding confidence. You can sense their presence before they even speak. They do not fidget nervously or shuffle their feet. Their eyes are not glued to the ground in uncertainty. They walk with their head up, shoulders back, and a sense of determination. This physical posture is a direct reflection of an internal state of mind, one of clarity, ambition, and strength. In contrast, those who lack purpose move differently. Their steps are hesitant, their posture slouched, and their eyes filled with uncertainty. They drift through life without a clear sense of direction, easily swayed by distractions and external influences. They are passive participants rather than active leaders. The way a person carries themselves reveals much about their mindset and approach to life. People who walk without purpose often live without purpose, and it shows in everything they do. To walk with purpose, you must first define what that purpose is. Many people feel lost because they have not taken the time to decide where they are going. They wake up each day without a plan, react to whatever happens, and wonder why they feel unfulfilled. Purpose is not something that appears out of nowhere. It must be cultivated. It requires deep self-reflection and a commitment to personal growth. What do you want to achieve? What do you stand for? What kind of life do you want to build? These questions are essential because without answers, you will continue to drift. Once purpose is established, it must be embodied. This means moving through life with intention. Every action should align with your goals and values. Whether you are walking into a room, starting a conversation, or making a decision, you should do so with clarity and conviction. Purposeful individuals do not hesitate. They do not second-guess themselves at every turn. They trust their path, adjust when necessary, and keep moving forward regardless of obstacles. Walking with purpose also requires discipline. It is easy to become distracted, to lose focus, and to fall into patterns of laziness or procrastination. But those who are truly purposeful do not allow temporary comfort to derail them. They remain committed to their goals even when the journey becomes difficult. This kind of consistency builds resilience, and resilience is one of the most attractive and powerful traits a person can develop. Beyond just personal success, walking with purpose impacts how others perceive and respond to you. People naturally respect those who carry themselves with confidence and determination. When you enter a room with clear intent, people notice. They sense that you are someone who knows where you are going. And that certainty is contagious. It influences how they treat you, how they listen to you, and whether they take you seriously. However, walking with purpose does not mean rushing through life without reflection. It is not about moving at a frantic pace or forcing action without thought. True purpose is balanced. It combines determination with awareness. Purposeful people are present in the moment. They are mindful of their surroundings, attentive to opportunities, and conscious of the impact they have on others. They move forward, but they do so with wisdom and adaptability. One of the most important aspects of walking with purpose is the ability to push through adversity. Life will not always be smooth. There will be failures, setbacks, and challenges that test your resolve. But a person with purpose does not stop when things become difficult. They adjust, learn, and keep moving forward. They do not allow fear to paralyze them or obstacles to define them. They understand that setbacks are part of the journey, and they use those experiences to grow stronger. Walking with purpose also means walking with integrity. There are many who appear confident but lack substance. They move with arrogance rather than genuine conviction. True purpose is not about appearing strong. It is about being strong. It is about standing for something greater than personal gain. It is about moving through the world with honesty, respect, and a commitment to something meaningful.